see more and more small bay industrial building. How does this compete now and into the future with Hanson's investments?
We're not seeing a lot of new small bay, at least in the infill areas. So I think it's important to differentiate. If we look at the growth of industrial supply over the last 5 years, it's like 2% for the 25,000 smaller bays across the US. So macro numbers are great, but they tell a story, whereas the 100,000 and up, I think, is up 25 to 30% in that same time period. New supply is definitely an issue because the supply demand imbalance is what we're capitalizing on. The areas we're focused on are going to be more supply constrained. Like, for example, Austin, Texas has been a really hot market the last 7, 8 years probably. But what I don't like is all the green space or developable land around it. So as soon as you move outside of the city center, there are a lot of emerging areas there, but there's so much undeveloped land that could come in and bring new supply online. I'm fearful of that. So at a macro level, yeah, I have concern over oversupply at some point, but it doesn't pencil to build the projects that we're targeting, which are going to be infill, existing in supply constrained areas where just the math will never work to projects that exist. And because the users, I'll say, requirement of proximity to their customer base in general, that's more the service users, delivery users, and people like that. Those guys are not going to have an alternative that's a nicer, newer box, down the street, because we're focused on not just the supply that's already in the market, but also what the building permits look like, and more importantly, what the land is looking like, because we are also a developer of this product. So we're not looking at this purely from we're going to buy it because that's the only play we understand. We will build it where it's appropriate. Just in the last couple of years, we haven't found the risk reward profile or the sites and the construction costs aligning for us to go ground up. We got really close kind of mid 25 before the Liberation Day threw the supply chain into a tailspin again. So we're not opposed to developing it, but we're going to keep an eye on the supply side.